Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another Kit Conspiracy layout for you guys today using my Pretty Little Studios Comfort and Joy kit. So I have pulled out a couple tabs, labels, and some cut-apart banner tiny word pieces. I've got some cut-apart tickets that I almost forgot to use, if I'm being honest. And then, of course, I have my little fish that I have been playing with. I've only got a couple left by the time I get to this layout. And I could not have this layout just passed up. This was the biggest catch that they did. I'm also going to be using some packaging to mat my photos. I've got this gorgeous 11-inch wreath that I want to add. I brought back this sticker book from the Outdoor Adventures by Cartabella, and then I've got two papers. I've got this striped paper here as well as the ledger paper, but I think I'm going to bring in some corrugated just to match the rest of the layouts. Now I know I didn't bring corrugated in to my very first layout, but to match everything else, I think I'm gonna keep bringing in that corrugated. So this is going to be my base paper, and as you can see, it has at least two things that are not so hideable on the layout. That represent Christmas. And so I'm going to give it a think of how I can hide those pieces and not make it look like an eyesore. But first I'm going to trim out my photos and make them fit my, what are they called? I apologize. My packaging. Now, at first I was going to do a 4x4 photo of my husband just because his pole is laying next to him. And then I thought, no, you guys get it. He's fishing. He has a big fish in his hands. So I'm pretty sure it's implied that he is fishing. You don't need the pole. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 so I can have a 3x4 and then still have enough of a border to scuff up the edges. I'm also going to scuff up the edges of this wreath using my edge distresser. And then on the little pieces, I use my fingernails, or what's left of them, I should say. I had to trim them all off because of how much woodworking I've been doing for the shop, that it just makes my nails. Anyways, so I'm going to scuff up the edges. Like I said, most of it I can get in and use my edge distresser, but the little tips and peaks and itty bitty little crannies need attention by my fingernails. And then once that is done, I am super happy with how this looks. I love it all roughed up like that. I really do. I'm only going to use the portion that does not have the pink roses on it. So I am going to have it go off the page. And then I decided I'm going to just rip out the pieces that are all about Christmas. Yes, I am. There they go. They are gone and in the trash. And I'm going to rough up the edges just a little bit to give it that grunge that I love. So there we go. Christmas is gone. I apologize, you guys. So I've had a couple questions of if I end up just using my scissors to cut away the rough edge, why don't I just use the scissors to instead of ripping the paper? Well, ripping is faster, and sometimes I don't have to use my scissors. So I do end up just being able to rip and go. But lately, the paper's been almost like separating to where I do get that white border, and the white border is just basically the layers of paper, and they just don't scuff up really well. If I wasn't going to be using my edge distresser, then I definitely would rip or I would definitely just leave them as a white edge. But because I do use my edge distresser, that white edge just gets in the way. Okay, so for here I did use my scissors because I didn't want it to accidentally rip too much. Like I didn't want it to go underneath, and I wanted my stripes to be shown. Yes, I do end up using just a little bit of stripes. And I know it's not very much, but I do like the effect that it gives to my layout. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of my hole with corrugated. And I love how this looks. It was just my most favorite thing that I did to this paper. I'm super stoked with how it looks. Okay, because I only added adhesive in a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue to the rest of it. I just wasn't sure exactly where I needed to put glue, and instead of accidentally putting it in the wrong spot and having it peek out, I went ahead and just, did what I did. And now I'm tacking it all down. And it also gives me the opportunity to flatten the the corrugated. Now this corrugated here is the bee flute, and it does have the closer up little ridges and whatnot. And like I said, it doesn't really matter to me because I end up flattening them in anyways. And it gives that good distressed look to them. Going to go ahead and scuff up the edges of my photo mats and mount my photos. And then I'm going to use my photos to cover up where those trees and that deer are in the wreath. So yeah, it'll be okay. I'm not too worried that the wreath is kind of crooked right now. So kind of forgot how I was going to have my photos. My one photo is going to go off the edge at an angle. I love how it looks like now he's straight, if that makes sense. So when you look at it straight on, he kind of looks like he's leaning, and maybe he is. But in the end, when you look at it, now that he's off the edge, he looks straight. Anyways, it's just me. It's gotta be. Like I said, throughout the day, it did warm up, and so they did not need to wear gloves anymore. And I mean, they look freezing cold. They really do. But by the end of the day, jackets came off and gloves came off. I mean, it just was, as you can see, my husband opened his jacket up. In the previous layout, you could see Trin took her jacket completely off. So yeah, it did end up warming up to where they were having a blast. So I'm going to go through the sticker book and pull out a couple more of these little stickers. I am loving the fact that I am using this sticker book up. I cannot believe how many stickers, and I love this book, you guys. They are actually cardstock worthy stickers. They're not paper thin. They take my edge distresser very, very well. So I love the Cartabella books. I don't know if the Echo Park makes books and they are the same, but I do know that I'd rather have these sticker books than the Simple Stories ones. If Simple Stories could make them a little bit thicker, I would probably go back to purchasing them. But with them being paper thin like that, no. I probably won't. All right, so I did decide to use the World's Best Fisherman. I mean, I'm kind of biased. It's okay. And then I like adding Oh What Fun. I'm going to have a small little cluster up at the top just to give it something else to bring your eye to go look at, because I do have those two dark spots where I tore out the paper. So I wanted to bring something else to look at other than just, oh, dark spots on the layout. And then I felt like my photos weren't counterbalancing them. And then once I glue everything down on my layout, I will be adding this twine to my little hook that I've got tucked in behind Oh What Fun. And then, yes, it's going to be so much fun. I'm just going to go ahead and have it tucked in and wrapped around my wreath just to give it a little bit more life to it and dimension. Tucking it behind my photo and around my tag. And loop it around. I like adding just one little loop, just one, and tacking it down so I make sure that it stays. And then I'm going to glue it behind this little ticket so that way it had a place to live, like it ended there and it looks good. And that's it, you guys. That is all that I have. I did forget to write on my tab. I am so sorry. for the video, but I do end up just writing down his name because of the fact that that's what I did on all the other layouts. So I thought that that was pretty cool. And his last layout, I did not write his name down. So anyways, that is all that I have for you guys today. Please check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is my partner in crime when it comes to kit conspiracy. And yeah, we just definitely love sharing with you guys these kits and how, more inspiration to use them in case you own these kits or want to create your own using your papers in your stash. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.